All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a Puurk Q&A. So that means start to finish, what does it require in order to get regular recurring money coming in through Puurk? So the very first thing we do is we go through the foundation of your account buildup. That means creating an account, creating a submerchant account, finalizing those things, adding users, adding credits, discounts, adding services, products, and packages. And then from there, creating plans and inviting clients. You're going to live in creating plans and inviting clients. And then afterwards, once you've started to do that, you'll do that on a regular basis, a recurring basis. That will be every day at night. Either you'll add the clients for the next day or you'll add them in the morning. And those are the new clients. So any new patients or clients that are coming in, you would see them within Puurk. So if they're on your schedule for the next day, make sure they're within Puurk. Make sure that you have a plan that's built for them. That way, you're not creating a plan already. There's just one that's already there and available. Secondarily, what you can do is you can add things to that plan. You can share that plan with them before they arrive. You can share that plan with them when they arrive. But the biggest thing is sharing that plan with them as soon as you can. When do you want to know that there is a potential upgrade that's available for your flight? Do you want to know that as you're landing? Do you want to know that as you're exiting the plane? Do you want to know that halfway through the flight? You probably want to know that before you even board, right? And worst case scenario, while you're getting on the plane. So think of it that way, where the longer you withhold a plan from a client, the less likely that client is to add more services. Now, the majority of the providers that are out there know that they have services that are like vitamins and sunshine and water, meaning everyone would benefit from them. And if that's the case, then go ahead and add those to those plans for that client. Now, the worst case scenario is that the client is going to see those and say no. The best case scenario is that the client is going to see those and realize just how affordable they are on a monthly basis and automatically include those in the plan. That is what we would consider to be like the Michelangelo approach. Like you start with a big block and you chip away to what that client is either willing or comfortable in order to do. So let's kind of just start with something along those lines where we go into a sample provider. And I'm going to look this up. And I'm going to share my screen. And here we have a sample provider. This is a provider that is not real. They have a series of things. And let's just walk through from I am brand new to Puurk to I'm using Puurk on a daily basis. So let's start with the very beginning. So let's go to what I'm going to call an onboarding module. And so let me just go all the way to the beginning. And I'm going to share this screen and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So these are all of the combined modules for onboarding with Puurk, and I'm just going to go through them really quickly. What Puurk does is it provides power to providers. It makes it so that providers can allow clients to afford more things and receive more treatments or more services. Your priority and your goal is adding clients and creating plans. This is where you're going to live on a day-to-day basis. adding clients, creating plans. But in order to get there, we have to do these setups, these fundamentals, the foundation, right? Just like everyone that is living in a house, you don't want to live in a house with a cracked foundation, and you don't want to fly in a rocket that has been put together haphazardly. So this is you building the rocket. It's the account setup, it's the merchant account setup, it's adding users and setting tips, adding services, products, and packages, adding credits and discounts, and then adding clients and creating plans. So let's just kind of start with, well, what is Puurk? Puurk is two magic tricks in one. Puurk is the ability for a provider to create and have a consultation framework or a tool, just like you would have a pre-formatted menu checklist at a restaurant that people can just literally check off and add little notes to. Puurk does exactly that for a provider. It makes it so that you don't have to add in services as you're going along. It just literally makes it so that you can just check things off or add things beforehand. So think of it like a waitress at a diner. A waitress at a diner automatically starts with water at a table. They automatically just give you water. They don't ask about it. So those would be like the services that you know that basically everyone can, would, or should use. So you could add those to the plan. Once a provider creates a plan, the clients view the plan. And they basically are able to choose pay over time, or they can choose pay in full. When the clients pay over time, they pay a down payment, and that covers the costs up front. They're able to choose their desired amount or term, and then they simply sign an agreement, set a tip, enter their payment method, and they submit their payment. Now, once they've added their payment method, guess what they can do the next time they come in? If they have their phone, but they forgot their wallet, they don't have their cards, anything like that, they can still pay. All they do is just simply pay using their account. They've already added their payment methods, whether that is their bank account, whether that's their card. So clients that are paying over time are fundamentally building you an ever-growing recurring income. So the longer clients are given to pay, they're able to basically say yes a little easier. So think of that. If you allowed this client to only pay for 12 months, they would pay $259.33. If you gave them 48 months, they'd pay $113 a month. So when you allow clients to pay over time, the longer they pay, the more you earn. It's like paying rent. How long do you want a client to pay you rent? Probably for as long as possible. So by using Puurk, providers are able to see earnings multiply, earnings passively grow, more clients are able to brag about you, more clients, since they're bragging about you, more clients search for you. More clients say yes, they say more now, and they say more often. So really quick as a recap, are you or Puurk lending money? At any time in that process, did you see Puurk go through and ask for a qualification or an application? Ask for a social security number? Nope. Does Puurk let you build payment plans? Yes. Were there any approvals or APRs or any of the other loan stuff? Nope, there wasn't. So let's go through the account setup. What happens is a provider goes to provider.puurk.com and they click sign up. They create a Puurk account. They add their details and they're off to the races. They enter their contact information, their name and their number, and it's always good to make sure that you double check your email and your mobile phone. You then create a business account. You have the name and the EIN number, the email and the phone number. Those are the contact, that's the contact information that is provided to clients within Puurk. You enter all of the other details, you load a business logo, you agree to the agreement, and that's it. Is that easy? Yes. You entered and checked your Puurk profile, you entered and checked the business profile, you added a logo, you agreed to the Puurk agreement. Not too bad. Now for the merchant account, I'm going to skip a lot of this because it gets detailed, and we have these step-by-step pieces for you to be able to load your merchant account. And it basically makes it so that you know where your money is going to and that you have the ability to process cards. From there, we're going to do some finalizing and finish up the polish on your Puurk account, which means you're going to go into your menu. You're going to add a profile picture. You can update that profile picture. You then go in and go to your business profile, and you're going to add a logo, enter your sales tax, add additional locations. Although one thing I do need to specify is that locations with separate EIN or bank accounts must be entered as another separate Puurk account. If you have different EIN accounts, you need different Puurk accounts. So you could have multiple, if you basically are depositing to the same bank account and you have the same EIN, you're great, you're just fine. Now, you can accept tips with payments. If you choose to select to accept tips, tips are displayed as percentages of a plan's value, or the clients, just like normal, can enter a custom amount. You would go in, you would hit menu, settings, tips, and then select allow clients to tip during payment. To view tips on an individual transaction, you'd go select ledger, select the transaction, and view the transactions. That's one way. To view tips on multiple transactions, you click menu, reports, payment details, and then from there you can filter or download all of those details as a CSV file. That's great for accounting, for all of the business support. As well, to view tips on multiple transactions, select ledger, select the transaction. From there, you can view that tip amount. So, just to recap, to quickly view other transaction details, go to ledger, select the transaction, or go to menu, reports, payment details. You can view individual transactions or download a CSV for bulk review and filtering of all of your details. So, did you add tips? Do you know how to track or see tips on a single transaction? Do you know how to track or see tips for multiple transactions? If so, you're on your way. Now, let's add users. There is a little analogy that basically is given. There's a cute little phrase, and it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So that means you're going to have other people that you work with. So you're going to add other users. So let's do that right now. So providers can add users to the business. Here's providers. Here's your staff, admin. So add users. You select menu, settings, add, edit users. Select add new user, enter the title and name, enter the contact information, and double check all of your spelling. You wouldn't believe how many times we have people with missing letters, missing numbers in mobile phones. So from there, you are able to select the user access, whether it's all access or limited access. You then hit submit. You select whether that person provides services, and then you hit submit, and then you are able to invite them. You can text them. You can copy an invite link and email it to them. You can get a QR code and then have them snap their camera app and then link their account that way. If you text them, this is what happens. It texts this out. The user receives the text. The user clicks the link in the invitation, and the user is linked with the business. If you add users via QR code, you simply select Get QR Code. Puurk generates a QR code. The user uses their phone camera, selects the link. User clicks the link in the invitation, and you link the account that way. From there, you can go to Menu, Settings, Add Edit Users. You can see all the users, the access levels, and you can click to edit them. You click the edit icon by the users. You'll see the user information, the status, the access, the role. You can remove a user, update, edit a user. You can see all kinds of things on there. So what's the difference between a limited access and no access? Well, limited access allows people to create plans and add clients, but they're not able to see all of the financial details and all the reporting. They can't add other users and they can't change any business settings. Those with no access, they're not able to do anything. So why would you want them? Well, if an employee leaves and you still want to be able to maintain historic records, you simply are able to keep those providers within the system. If the user account is connected, there will be no invite user button right here. It will display an icon to show that the user is connected. If not, the user has not clicked the invitation to finish linking their account. So if the user is being asked to create a separate Puurk account or enter an EIN, they're not using the same login details within the account that was created. So make sure that all users are connected before proceeding. From there, just double check. Did you invite and add all the users? Did you understand and do you understand roles and access and login? Do you understand how to add or remove or restrict or edit or invite other users? Remember, if you want to go far, go together. Now, adding services, products, and packages. This is a big one. Whew. Take a deep breath because here we go. What are these? Well, services are any and every act. They are a treatment, a procedure, an activity that the business, a provider, provides. It's expertise. It's all kinds of things. Products are physical goods. They're things that are in bottles. They're things that are in lotions and potions and you name it. They're physical goods. They may or may not be included with services. Packages can be a combination or multiple of services or products. So it could be everything from laser hair removal to hair replacement therapy, laser hair and hair replacement, and skincare, all wrapped up into one. So users add services, products, and packages in order to create plans. So what does that do? Well, that is able to show that client, just like a waitress at a diner, everything that that client ordered and all the details for that. It's just a real simple template. Just click, 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 click. And it's a living plan. We'll get into that in a little bit. I know that this takes a long time. I know that it can be really tedious. Wow, can it be mind-numbing? But the thing is that this is an investment. For every minute invested into entering all of the details for services, products, and packages, that means entering the costs and the prices and the quantities and the commissions, you now know exactly what all of your services make you. That then lets Puurk handle all of the heavy lifting, all the calculations. It's able to take 30 minutes of calculating how you can afford something or how a client can afford something into let's do this in 3 minutes. It saves you time. It makes it faster. It makes it easier to build and share plans for the clients. So I want you to get into the habit of building plans, adding clients, and sending out as many client plans as possible. You're going to practice adding plans over and over again. You're going to change plans, amend plans, adjust plans. So, do we understand the difference between services, products, and packages? Do we understand the importance of having accurate costs and pricing? Do we know and can we identify where to get all the information and who's loading these? Now, adding services. If you chose to add all the services yourself, this is exactly what you would be doing. You would select Menu, Services and Packages. You'd select the Services tab, and you'd select Add New Service. From there, you would name your service. Use generally accepted naming for the service. Double check your spelling because you're a professional and we want you to come across professionally. Base it on the lowest measurement or unit, the type sold. So that's per unit, per area, per syringe, per service, and load every major and minor service sold. That means all the little things, whether there's a late fee, whether the sky is the limit. You know your business way more than we will ever know your business. So we want you to be able to load all the little details. Use letters, not numbers or characters, because it makes it so that you can type items in and search for them. Don't group multiple services under one service. Like DNA, it's supposed to be the lowest form, the lowest measurement. So make as many variations of the service as are provided. So if that's laser hair removal, by the area, by the treatment type, you name it, the sky is the limit. And there's a variety, there's a combination of all the services that you provide. Consider it like the old school Rubik's Cube, where you had a variety of colors and sides, and you could mix and match all the colors and sides in so many different types of combinations. Mark whether the service is currently for sale. This is so that you can make seasonal or reoccurring promotional services. So you can just create it once and then select that it's not for sale instead of deleting it and then re-adding it the next season. You then enter your unit price. So that means the retail amount that you charge for the treatment. And then you enter your unit price. So your unit price should always be much higher than your marginal cost. So for example, it's 2 times the cost. So what do you plan to charge for the service? And then under that, your marginal cost is the direct cost to deliver 1 additional unit of service. Nothing else. Nothing else. You're not trying to calculate, well, this person's salary and the rent for this and the cost for the machine is that. Those are all sunk costs. Those are all costs that are going to be paid regardless of whether someone signs up on a Puurk plan or not. So don't include those. Rent, salaries, debt, overhead are not included. You enter the service name, the unit price, the marginal cost, and then from there, do you allow the plan creator to adjust pricing? I normally select this because I like to be able to have the capacity to on the fly change a number if necessary. It does add flexibility. It also increases error. So just be aware of that. You then set the commissions, whether there is no commission, a fixed amount such as $50, or a percentage such as, let's say that it's 5% plus $50, something along those lines. And then what it's based off of. Is it based off of the actual retail price, or is it based off of the profit? From there, this is allowing the down payment. So Puurk will calculate this for you. It calculates the down payment as the marginal cost plus the commissions. And then there are notes that staff and providers can see by themselves. From there, you can upload images and then you add the providers. Which providers actually perform those services? You then select those providers and you're able to review. From there, select Menu, Services and Packages, and you'll notice that the service will appear along with all of the other ones. As a final note, be as detailed as possible. Enter every variation of the service. With services, with quantities that are sold per unit, list the service as per unit. A good example would be things like neuromodulators, toxins, fillers, things like that. If a filler is sold per syringe, if you sell a half a syringe, then you would want to have a half a syringe in there. If you sell full syringes only, or you have to start with a full syringe, you have to add both. If you have a per unit of a toxin, sell it per unit and then add all of the units after you have added the service in there. And we'll talk about that more as we're building plans. So if there's multiple treatments with multiple areas, you build all the versions and the variations of those as possible. Finally, do we understand marginal cost and retail cost? Retail cost, remember, is what the client pays. Marginal cost is what it cost you. Have you entered all the variations of all the services? Have you entered all of the information regarding the services, the providers, the commissions, and the details? If so, you're on your way. Let's go. Adding products. Products are pretty straightforward. So if you sell products, the one thing that we highly suggest is that you make sure that you have your products and sales tax marked within your account settings. So if that's the case, you need to go back to account setup, finalizing details, and look at setting up your sales tax. So for adding products, it's very simple. It's the same as adding services. So you'd select Menu, Services and Packages, select the Products tab, Add New Product. From there, these are all the details. You name the product, whether the product is currently for sale, the retail price, the purchase cost, and whether they can adjust pricing if they add this to a plan. You're able to select commissions, select a down payment. You're able to select a term cap. So a term cap is fundamentally, it shortens the term that that client could pay things off. From there, you would enter the brand, supplier, category, SKU, barcode, whether to charge sales tax, notes, photos. And from there, this is it. This is an example product list. Here's example product details. To make sure that it's there, you would select Menu, Services and Packages, select the Products tab, and you'll notice that the product is there. That's pretty simple and straightforward. So if you've entered all of the products and you've reviewed the costs and the pricing, if you've verified that sales tax rate is in there and correct, if you've entered all that information and the sales commission, you're good to go. You're on your way. Packages, adding packages. Now, packages are both really simple and really complicated because packages can be a combination of services and products. They can be a series of the same thing. I know that many like to choose things like laser hair removal, Morpheus treatments, all kinds of things. Anything can be considered a package if there's multiple of them or a combination of services and products. To add a package, you would select Menu, Services and Packages, go to Packages, select Add New Package, enter a package name, and then select if the package is for sale, and then you would add services. From there, you would select from the combined list of services and products. I know that's a little misleading, but the thing is that all services and products would all be together. You'd select all the desired services and products. You'd select Save Services. From there, you'll notice that there's a list of services and products that will be displayed. This is where you will adjust the quantity. So if you added, let's say, neuromodulators or toxins, let's say that the package included 40 units of toxin, you would adjust that quantity there. So from there, you would have the retail price, and the retail price is the total of all of the selected services and products retail pricing. The marginal cost is the same. It is all of the services and products marginal costs. And then you're able to select whether the package can be adjusted with the price while creating the plan. Puurk totals all of the selected services and products together. So if you have things like buy 3 services that are $125, the services for $300, we're able to show a discount to the client what it would normally cost them to buy all of them individually. So just one thing of note, to boost sales and to increase lifelong clients, to make sure that you're getting great clients and they're able to say yes, make sure that you are setting the down payment to be reflective of the first few services. You don't have to have the down payment for all of the series of all of the services paid up front. I'll give you a good example. Let's say that that client was buying 6 sample treatments of something. Let's say that the cost to you was $50 per treatment. So that would be $300 in total, right? 6 times 50, $300. From there, they're paying the down payment as though they came in all 6 times up front. We would suggest maybe trimming that down to the first few, 2 maybe. So $100. That way, that client is paying for the first 1 or 2 treatments and they're covering their costs. And as their monthly payments kick in, they're covering the costs to you with their monthly payments. From there, within the packages, you're able to select the commission rate. And obviously, it's completely up to you. By default, packages combine all commissions and they display it as a fixed amount, just so you know. So for commission rate basis, if there is a commission, you select whether that's based on the unit price or the profit. Puurk totals all the marginal costs and the commissions from the services and products and selects that as the default down payment. So this completely eliminates your risk if that client was to disappear. So just simply understand your commissions policies and whether you've paid services on services sold or when services are rendered. From there, you're able to select a term cap. That's a feature. So that might not be turned on for you necessarily, but that basically makes it so that it allows the package, the longest term length will determine the final term that the client would see. From there, you would add notes, add photos. You would select which providers could perform that package. And then once you hit submit, you'll see a review screen with the services, the quantity, the pricing, the breakdown, commissions, the down payment. The term cap length is displayed. The providers are displayed, and then whether or not you wanted to edit, or delete. Just to double check and make sure that that's in there, you could select Menu, Services and Packages, select Packages, and then see your sample package in there. There we go. So far, so good. If so, have you entered all of the packages and understood marginal costs? Have you adjusted the marginal costs to cover your near-term services? Remember, like if you're selling a series of 6, let's just have those costs cover the first 2. Now, granted, this is completely up to you. Do you understand all the package profitability, the carried amount, all the variations, commissions? From there, you can add credits and discounts. So to add credits and discounts, you go Menu, Settings, Credits, Add New Credit. From there, you would enter the new credit details. Name the credit, give the credit a description, and you can select the max dollar amount, the default dollar amount, the max percentage amount, and the default percentage amount. You're able to pick between the two. So defaults, obviously, it will just come up as 100, but you could select up to $500. Or 10% is the default percentage, but you could select up to 20% in this. From there, you would hit Save. And when creating a plan, you'd select Add Discount, select the discount credit from the drop-down menu, and the discount default to apply to the entire plan, or whether it's a per item basis. So do you want to assign it to the whole plan, or do you want to assign it to a particular thing within that plan? From there, you would select Add Discount and select all applicable discounts. Pretty simple so far. So have you entered all of your credits and discounts? Now, don't be stingy. Add all of the ones that you know are available. Understand how to add credits and discounts. Do you understand how to apply credits or discounts to specific items? All right. Adding clients. This is a big one. Remember, this is where you will live the majority of the time. Up to this point, this is the foundation. Now we're getting into adding clients. So clients may or may not have used your services before. So they must be added before you can send them a personalized plan. Could you send anyone a template plan? Yes, of course. And they can add themselves via QR code or by accepting a template plan. But if you want to personalize a plan for somebody, they have to be added as a client. So you would select Menu, Clients, Add New. Or you could select this via the Plans tab, where you would select Plans, Add New Plan, and then select Add New Client. Clients are also able to self-add via QR code by selecting Menu, get your QR code, and they're able to have a link for a public or client for them to self-add. The clients and the public are able to use their camera phone. Click that, pops open a link, and that's it. Remember, I can't stress this enough. You're going to be living in 2 places within Puurk the majority of the day. Adding clients, building plans. That's it. Adding clients, building plans. Everything else is administration or just reporting, follow-up. So, do you understand how to add clients? Start adding them. Get into the habit. Get into the discipline of adding the clients. Whether it's add all the clients for the week or for the next day, just simply understand how to add them and invite them. Understand who will be adding them. So if you are not the one that is adding the clients, they need to be the one watching this video and seeing that. So you would assign them to add clients every morning or evening or every week. From there, let's go through plans. Whew. This is a long one, so Just going to take a little swig. Plans are the bridge between you and your future. I'm just going to say that one more time. Plans are the bridge between you and your future. Puurk is two magic tricks in one, remember? Puurk is a consultation and plan tool, and Puurk is a payment tool. The biggest thing about plans is you're able to show clients what they can afford. You're able to show the clients that their comprehensive treatments, their transformations, their dare to dream packages and plans, the way to get them from point A to point Z, whether that is having whatever service that is to them. You know this more than anyone else, is with a plan. If you came to me and I was a guide through a jungle, you would be the most confident in me if I was able to show you a detailed plan of how we were going to get from point A to point Z and all the points in between and how that would work. It would be even better if I was able to show you on something that you held in your own hand. That's why most people provide a brochure. It's information that you take home with you. It's information that you can review. It's information you can mull over. But when things are in your hand, you own them. So when a plan is in a client's hand, that client feels ownership over that plan. That client feels more comfortable, more responsible, more stewardship over that plan. So the more detailed you can be in a plan, the more confident a client will be in you. So what are plans? They are that consultation and estimate tool. They're a roadmap, they're a brochure, they're a checkout method, they're a payment, they're a record, they're a receipt, and they are living, meaning you can go back and amend them. You can change them. You can update them. It's a living relationship that you have with your clients. And so those plans should reflect that living relationship. So once again, I just want to congratulate you. You're here. This is where you need to be focused, is creating and sharing plans. If you're creating and sharing plans all day, every day, that habit alone will get you to so much more success than you realize. Most of the time, providers are too timid, too hesitant, and too awkward with creating and sharing plans. They go about their day doing what they did yesterday, which means they're going to get the same thing today that they got yesterday. Let's change that. That means that we're going to go through creating and sharing plans. So, once again, plan overview. You're here, your staff is here, you're entering all of the details for your services, products, and packages. And all of those details are then being loaded into Puurk, which is then loaded into plans. Plans show services and they show prices, but most importantly, they show choices. They show options. Plans, when a client is holding them in their hand and they're able to view and they're able to pay providers, they are in control. They are comfortable. So the more plans that are shared, the more services you will sell. The more plans that are shared, the more services you will sell. So do you understand what plans are and why they're so important? Do you understand who will be creating plans and when? Do you have users that will be creating plans, whether that is the front desk, whether that is you, whether that is a medical assistant or some other assistant? You need to know who will be doing that. Imagine having a symphony and not knowing who's going to be playing the piano or the violin, or just assuming that that's just going to happen at the right time. It's not going to happen. That symphony will be a catastrophe. So assigning users, having specifics, knowing when it will be done, how it will be done, and training over and over and over again, getting into your own groove, your own rhythm, your own method of how you do this is so important. So let's go through creating plans. Providers and users create plans for clients or public. You go in, you select plans, add new plan. From there, a pop-up box appears to select the plan type. Is it a template plan, which means that it is going to be for the public? Means it's not going to be assigned to any one individual person, or you can assign it to a client to create that specific plan. If you haven't added that client, you would add that new client there. Now that's a lead. So if the client isn't added or listed, you would add that new client there. You would select the client, then create the plan. A new plan is created. So the payment terms will be at the top. It's a little drop-down box. You'll notice the plan title. Plans are automatically numbered. That way things are HIPAA compliant, things are very anonymous, things are very discreet. And you can do with this what you will. However, just know that way you can keep plans numbered and you don't have to worry about the number. So buttons are there to then invite that client. You'll notice the client's name, number, email address are all there. And then from there, you can, if you, let's say, copy a link, understand that a link that you send to a client isn't shareable to another client. So if you have an individual treatment plan for client A, and then you try to share that individual treatment plan with client B isn't going to be able to see it. Copied links will only work for the invited client unless you're making a template plan. And a template plan is just basically a publicly viewable plan. You change that template plan for one, you're changing it for all of them. So from there, you would go in, you would add the services, and just like we were talking about at a diner or a restaurant, that person that's there can just simply go, all right, so tell me about why you're here. Okay, tell me what brings you in today. You're going through your consultation. You're able to select the services and the products and the packages. Most optimally, this would be done a little bit beforehand. You'll notice that as this provider goes through this list of services, they're able to select the services and the products and the packages that that client is interested in. But they're also, if they select they toggle that button on, they're able to adjust the pricing while adding the item to the plan. They then hit Save Services. And then you would see a breakdown just like this. And let me just kind of see if I can, I can't, no, I actually can zoom in. Here we go. This is your view. This is what you will be seeing. So you would see the client information here. You would see the capacity to text them, scan the QR code, copy a plan link. But you would have a breakdown of all of the services, packages, and products. Botox per unit, cool sculpting, single session, diamond glow facial, whatever those are. And then you would see the icon for a trash can. You would see the icon for who it's sold by. You would see a wish list heart icon. You'd see the quantity there. Now, this is really important. Of all the things, add more services, products, and packages than you, instead of adding up to, be taking away from. So that as that client finds that price that's the most comfortable for them, you're able to really give them what they need, that the series of services that will transform them into the vision of what they are envisioning and what you're envisioning. So it's able to make it so that as you're going through this, you can go through the list and whittle it down by, if they don't want a service, you can either delete it or add it to their wish list. Add it to their wish list if they want to do it some other time. That way, you know what is in their heart. It might not be in their cart, but you know what's in their heart. So from there, you can add more services, products, or packages, and then you can share that. If you're doing this with a client while the client is there, that's one way to do that. You can also, like I said before, add the series of services before you visit with the client. You can share that with the client either when they arrive or before they arrive, giving them something to look at, something to think about, something to wonder about, something to reason about. Don't be afraid. We'll go over the wish list one more time. The wish list is a list of items that the client will want to buy. It's a list of their future buying intent. So when you select the wish list icon, it takes the service or the product or the package from their current plan and puts it into a wish list, and it saves it for them. That way, you know exactly what that client wants in the future. Why is that so important? It's so important because you cut through all of the garbage and you know exactly what that client wants. So if you had let's say a promotion further on down the line, or that client hasn't been in for a while, guess what? You know what they already want. You can offer that to them. From there, you're able to select add discount. You select from the drop-down list of the discounts and credits as they appear. They'll appear either as a dollar amount or as a percentage amount. You can select the entire plan to apply that discount to, or you can select item by item. From there, the clients pay the down payment. You can adjust that down payment. You can select it so that you require payment in full and no payment terms are offered. So let's say that you are worried about your monthly expenses and you want to be able to make sure that the rest of the clients for the rest of the month are not offered pay over time options. Well, when you're creating these plans, all you would do is just click this button, which would require payment in full. From there, down payments don't apply. They're just simply paying in full. But as for now, if they were, let's say, paying over time, they would see how much they could pay as the down payment. And like I said before, down payments should cover your costs. Keep the down payment as low as your actual marginal costs. So you can increase package sales by setting low down payments to cover only short-term services, or use recurring payments for future ongoing services to keep that down payment affordable. So adjusting the down payment will adjust all the pricing. Notice that $631 right here, the pricing is different than if I adjusted it to $550. The monthly prices change. The drop-down menu at the top, you're able to review their payment terms. They're able to see that. And then from their view, they're looking at these terms right here. You're able to add an expiration date. So expiration dates, let's say that you created a plan for a client that you're going to be seeing on Tuesday. You could add an expiration date for Wednesday. So if they don't choose that plan by Wednesday, that expires. Why would you want to do that? Well, think back to school. What homework did you do first? The homework that was due either that day or the next day. It's human nature. So you always add a call to action, and a call to action is that expiration date. So you would click the expiration switch, you would set the expiration date, and select the time. Expiration dates can be edited and updated, but they create that urgency. They create that call to action. From there, you can see the items can be sold individually. You can check which which provider sold those items. Plans default to the creator as the seller, but they can be reassigned via the dropdown. You're able to then invite them to view the plan, and they can be invited via text, via QR code. You can copy that plan. You can also make a payment through this. But the biggest thing of all is don't wait until checkout to invite a client to view and see a plan. Don't wait until checkout. Showing that client that plan sparks curiosity. It reveals just how affordable more comprehensive services can be. So by starting high and going down, it shows just how affordable something can be when broken up over time. This is the whole reason why we pay for our educations by the class and by the semester, why most people pay for their houses with a mortgage, why most people pay for their cars with a car payment, because it is able to take larger items and break it down into bite-sized chunks. Bite-sized chunks, so that people don't choke and die. And that's what most people do when they think about most of the service and pricing that are out there. They choke and they die. What does that mean? That normally means they look at either your business and they just assume they can't afford it. They assume that they can't pay for the services that you're offering. So what these plans do is this takes sticker shock and it puts it in reverse. It makes it so that they look at that and they realize that that dream that they had about some transformation, some service that they had, it takes it from a why should I go visit them to a why not. You're able to invite that client to view the plan. You can text them via the text link, and that will show you that the client's number is copied from their profile, and a pre-built text invites the client to view the plan. You select close when you're done creating or editing the plan. You can invite them via QR code. So sometimes a provider has a series of open houses, and so they will have their plans or their promotions built as template plans so that multiple people can view that plan. And then they simply have the plan, the description of the plan, and a QR code so that as the clients are going around in that location, they can select it with their camera phone and click on it and buy it instead of going to a checkout. You're able to invite them by copying the plan link and then just sharing it via email or social media. From there, you're able to even make payments for clients. So you could select the make a payment page, and you'll notice there's one-time purchase, service tip, deposit, or offer. Now you can pay for the client this way, but there has to be a payment method that's in there. So you can have them select the tip amount. So either you or that client can do that. So if you have clients that aren't tech savvy, they can add their card information into their account, and they do that just once. So it's a little bit like if you have a, let's say, an athletic center, a country club, a variety of different things, car washes where you have put a card on file and that card is just charged every time you go to that place of business. It's the exact same thing here. So they can put a deposit down. So one-time payment, one-time purchase. So this is the standard checkout process for purchases where there's a single transaction and plans don't need to be created or accepted by clients. Then there is the service tip where a client already has a plan, but they just want to pay a tip. And they're going in, they're getting a treatment, but they just want to pay a tip for that service. A deposit is where a client wants to buy something, but they don't know what yet. So they just put a deposit down towards something. It's a future offer, a future plan, future client or contract. Sorry about that. A future one-time purchase. So if they select offer or the pay in full, this allows the payment for a specific offer or plan. Only as pay in full, not pay over time, because they need to accept a plan to allow for that pay over time. So they can select the offer, and then from there, the specific plan, which that client wants to pay in full, will be in that drop-down menu. That tip amount is there. Select the type of payment, add a service, edit the price, hit save. From there, add service, delete an item, adjust sold by, quantity. Super simple. This is the crux of where you will be. Adding clients, creating plans. This is where you need to be the most comfortable. Just like a Netflix series or just like a TV show that builds one episode at a time, we've built up to this where it's about understanding plans and adding clients. This is where most providers are going to live, is every day adding clients and creating plans, adding clients, creating plans. So creating plans are a way to send a plan to a client that hasn't been in a long time to see just what is available. Hey, did you see the new service that we're offering? I sent you a sample plan. Check it out. Or, hey, I know in your wish list you had this particular treatment. I've sent that plan to you. Check it out. It is a way to acquire, retarget, and keep your clients yours. Hope you have fun with this. This is just basically a 1-hour crash course tutorial in creating Puurk and getting all the way to adding clients, creating plans. Hope you had fun. I did. We'll see you on the other side.